Bambi comes on board, we can get straight into the topic of the evening. Good evening, everybody. My name's Shola Yubade, aka Mr. Mahogany, and I'm your host for Mahogany True Talk. The Mahogany True Talk is a weekly interactive show brought to you by Mahogany Productions and Events, and of course, I'm your host. Mahogany Productions and Events is an experiential event and production company that handles production and event management for clients. The show will focus on everything that has to do with events, from production to event management, hosts, music, and even food. We'll be bringing you the top guns from the industry to talk to you and give you the inner scoop of what the industry is really like. It will be an interactive show, so it's all about you guys. So please, as we're going along, be sending in your questions because we will be answering your questions as we're going along. So please make sure you send in your questions and make sure we give our guests a tough time. This is True Talk. We want the questions that you want answered. Yes? So we want to ask the questions that you want answered. So please, as we're going along, show your likes, show your happiness, show your disgruntledness, show everything that you want. Talk to us, say it as it is, and I'm going to make sure that we get the answers that you want. The questions, we're going to make sure we ask the questions and get the answers that you want. So let's go. So we're going to be welcoming Gbemisola in a few seconds. So everybody, please get ready. Gbemi, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
All the hard questions. I said, should I join?
Join. By the time we finish with you this evening, your head will blow up. Okay,
I will try.
Be ready. You better make sure you have your paracetamol, a glass of water, so you cannot be knocking them back as the head is starting to blow up.
It is well. It is well. It is well. It is well.
How are you?
It is well.
All right,
Okay.
we want to
I'm
get
fine,
straight
thank
into
you.
it, but as I always like to do with my guests, I like to do an introduction so that everybody knows who you are and can get a feel for the kind of person you are. So Gbemisola Okpe is one of Nigeria's top event managers with over 15 years experience. She has successfully handled weddings, corporate and social events for top private individuals and corporate organizations. She is a founding board member of the Association of Professional Party Organizers and Event Managers of Nigeria, for short APPIOM, where she's also the current president of the same association, and she's serving her second term. So unlike some people that were hoping that will not get a second term, she has got a second term, so she is serving it. She is also the CEO of Amiga Events Company. Gbemi, welcome to Mahogany True Talk.
Thank you.
Good. So how's things been with you? Where are you? Are you in the country? Where are you at the
moment? Yes. I'm in Nigeria, in my house, isolating, keeping safe.
So you're not going out and about. I thought you'd be roaming about, starting new events for, that has given us freedom to roam around.
There is no rush. Only the living can work and plan events. So there's no rush for me.
But it's true though. Amen to that. I keep telling people the same thing, that seriously, guys, you're chasing money, but if you're dead, please tell me how you're going to spend it. That one I don't understand. So I don't really want to talk about COVID, because I think so many events and so many shows have spoken about COVID. I'm sure it might come into some of the examples or things you're talking about, but generally we want to talk about the event industry. We want to talk about why is there no unity, why is there no standardization, how is it that just anybody can get and start an event? How come there's no health and safety? How come government doesn't have legislation? All these sort of things. These are the kind of things that we're going to be dealing with you about. Okay. So when we look at standardization and moving the event industry forward, okay, we cannot take away the importance of associations like APPIOM. I think there's ILEA. There might be one or two others as well. However, for those that are not aware of what the association does, please give us a brief. Tell us what you're about, what you do, who can join, why it's important to join. Break it down for us.
Okay, so APOEM is an association that houses every type of event professional. A lot of people ask me who is an event professional because they feel that the name is very, you know. So it's everybody in the industry, a photographer, a videographer, a makeup artist, an event planner, event producer, decorate, name it, under one house. Basically, what we do is we network, we train, and we, oh my god, there's one more thing. So we network, we train,
Mm-hmm.
and we I would say educate, but I mean it's the same thing as training, but most
Mm-hmm.
importantly network and education. That's what we do. Also, the idea was to also set standards, being that we're all under one roof, that we can do it together. So that was the idea of Upwem. And right now that's what we do. So we network and we educate ourselves, we continue to train, and that's basically what we do now.
Okay, so something like me, I'm
Yes,
a show producer. I look at your
yes,
name.
yes,
Basically, are you saying that I'm excluded from your association? Or if I'm not
yes. you
excluded,
you
why
you
would it be
you are
beneficial for me to
included.
join?
You are
But I look at it,
included.
it says
Okay.
event planners and party. I don't do those sort of things.
Yes, yes. Okay, so 8 years ago when Upwem started, I'm sure we had the event producers, we had the show producers, we had, but at the time those names were not defined. Those events were not defined at the time. What we knew then was that we're party planners. That was what it was. Okay, so we have party planners. Even the people that did corporate were not known as corporate planners or corporate managers. They were just party planners. Everything. But as we grew and realized that, there are people that can actually only do corporate events and are good at it, because not every event planner can do corporate, and not
Mm-hmm.
every event planner can do what you do. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. I see someone like Dr. Yemi. I mean, not everybody can do what he does. So as
Mm-hmm.
we grew, we realized that obviously the industry, the management part of the industry was also split into different areas. This is something we've struggled with in the last year, because a lot of people have said to us, but your name says this and I don't fall under this category, so I don't believe that I should join you guys. To be honest, I don't know. We've been thinking about changing the name. We've been thinking about
Mm-hmm.
adjusting the name. We've been playing with a lot of things. So I don't know what would happen, you know, right now in terms of the name. So maybe, thinking about it now, and as I'm talking to you, it's beginning to, even to me, because sometimes I think about it and I'm like, am I just an event planner? And things like that. So yeah, so it's something to think about. Now that I'm saying it,
Mm-hmm.
it's something to think about. But yes, we do house
I'm sure for
everybody.
those of us, yeah, I'm sure for those of us watching, I mean, I've seen people like DJ CK, Crowd Controller, one of the biggest DJs on air. He also produces music. He does events as in terms of producing the music side, that event for
Yes.
like awards and things like that.
Right.
I look at
Right.
myself and I look at the name, and the first thing that we're going to
Yeah.
do is like, oh, this is not for us, and we will step
Yeah.
aside. Also, as
Yes.
an aside, your name is long. It's a mouthful to say to say the full name. You understand?
Yes.
It
It
is
is. It is.
seriously
Yes.
a mouthful.
I get. Yes.
So
Yes.
I think, I mean, it's something that I feel you have to look at. I'm sure it's a lot of people
We
will
will.
say, because
We
in
will.
our organization at Mahogany, for example, yes, I've had this debate with my GM, with my senior management team about should we join or not. We're members of ILEA,
Right.
the International Live
Yes.
Events Association. Okay.
Yes.
And we keep saying, should we also join Appium? And the consensus has been every time you look at your
The
name,
name.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, and no.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes. We
how,
would look
if
at
we're
it
trying
though.
to look at standardization, how are we going to change that perception?
Okay. So first of all, in the events industry, there's no respect. And when I say respect, I'm not talking about age. I'm not talking about experience. I'm talking about being a professional. There's no professional respect. We don't see ourselves as professionals. Like doctors would look at themselves, and just because they're doctors, there's this respect amongst themselves. We don't have that. We were very everybody wants to be the boss. People look down on other people. I understand some people are better than others. Obviously, in every profession we have that.
Gbemi,
But if
sorry,
we,
can I just
yes,
stop you for a second?
okay,
Gbemi, let me
okay,
just stop you for a
okay,
second.
okay, okay,
Listen, this is
okay.
true talk. All right?
Yes, yes.
Your answers are too airy fairy. Give me examples.
No,
Tell me how it
no, no,
is.
no.
Be
I'm
specific.
getting there. I'm getting there.
Okay, get there then. All right, good.
Okay, so we have that in the industry, and the truth about it is that. So, for example, let me use Alia and Apoem now as an example, as a true example.
Okay.
So we have some
Good.
Apoem members that are really really good. They have experience. They have both Nigerian and international experience. They've been in the industry for a while. In Aliyah, we have people like that as well. But it would take, I guess, God's intervention to bring the two together to give us the standard that we need. And that's what we need. We need different people from different areas of the industry to come together to create those standards. That's the truth. For example, as you know, we formed a group where we brought in event stakeholders to do something like this. And when the group was being formed, it was said, okay, bring the people with experience, bring the top dogs, blah blah blah. Okay, so the top dogs were brought into the group. The first thing, I start getting calls. Who is this person? Who does she think she is? Bringing all of us together. What's she trying to achieve? Blah blah blah. And then we have people now start calling. Oh, why did you put this person in the group? How many events has he done? How much does the person make? Blah 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 blah. So we still have all those things to deal with in the industry. Do you understand? How do we, for example, if we need standards to manage a show, we would need somebody like Dr. Yemi and things like that. I'm sure that it would not be easy to get you guys. Well, Dr. Yemi, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm sure it would be a bit difficult to get you guys to come and do that. And my question is why?
Not true. I will so argue with you
okay.
on that one. So argue with
Yeah?
you on that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know that
Okay.
Yemi and I in particular, I know that when we're invited for things.
No, Dr. Yemi, I'm taking Dr. Yemi out. Okay.
So you are just including me. Hey,
Yes, I'm
my
including you.
Over. You are including me. Okay. So I have to defend myself. This is true talk here. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a problem with Appium, and I had a problem with Appium, and I came off that group. And I came off the group not because of the fact that I didn't want to work with it or deal with it. I needed something because of how my organization works. I needed something. Instead of the person, I'm not sure, I can't remember who I was dealing with, but instead of the person to go back and say, I will ask for an exemption or I will try and deal with this, the person just said, sorry, it is only you, nobody else. And I said, well, that's not how we work. My organization has moved considerably. Everybody knows that the person that runs Mahogany at the moment is my Gege Love. I'm not involved in it as much as I used to be. I do more talking, I do more other things, and so on and so forth. So the moment I'm told that the people I can't use or that need to be there can't be there, when it's only how do I put it? It was only a WhatsApp group. It wasn't like we were going for meetings or things like that. It's an issue. So then that's why we now start to get this thing, like you mentioned. Why is this person here? Why is that person not here? Why is this person there? Why is that person not there? So I would have said at the time, and this is what we all have to look at, and I think I do agree with you about that respect. We have to respect each other. You
Yeah.
understand? We also need respect from people outside of
Yes.
the industry to respect us as well. But if we don't clean
Exactly.
house, we're going to have trouble.
Exactly.
Do you
Exactly.
understand? That is
Yes.
it. And
Yes.
sometimes cleaning house is about, okay, I raised an issue, call me and say, okay, why is it you need to have these extra people on this group that it was meant to be for CEOs? And I would have
Yeah.
explained. And I'm sure with my explanation, which I even tried to do on the group because I still have the messages, the person should have gone back and said to you as the boss, this is the reason why. And you would have, okay, so let me even leave that one aside. I love true
Okay.
talk. You know, we can get into
Okay.
fights. So me, I'm going to
Okay.
be Anthony Joshua. You can be whoever you want to be. Or me, I'm Anthony Joshua, heavyweight champion of the world. So be ready.
Okay.
When I was removed, when I came off, because I removed myself,
Yes.
I thought someone would call. Nobody did. It's not about me feeling high and mighty here, Gbemi. It's about, are we
That's
trying to
what
achieve
it
something?
felt like. That's what
What
it
was
felt like.
I?
That's
So
what it felt
it
like.
felt like that. But do you know that the idea of a president or the idea of an association is to bring different minds together, is
Yes.
to be the
Correct.
diplomat, is to be the
Yes.
peacemaker. It is not to be the person that said, ah, well, if that's his problem, I don't really care. I beg, move on. Are you
Yes.
understanding
Yes.
what
I
we're
am. I
saying?
am.
When
I
you
am.
invited
I
me
am.
to Appium, did I not come and
Yes.
speak?
Of
Did
course
I
you did.
say,
You did. And you
come
did
and
very well.
charge you?
I did very well.
I just came. I sat down
Yes.
there. I didn't,
Yes.
whatever. I did what I had to do. I imparted as much knowledge as I could. You
Yes, you did.
understand? So
Yes, you
when
did.
someone
Yes, you
does
did.
that, somebody has to think that maybe something in the communication was wrong. But let's not make it fully about this. But you do understand what I'm saying? That if we
Yes,
can't
I do. I
resolve these
do. I
kind of
do.
things,
Yes.
then how would you get people that are in Ilya to move
Or
or
any
to
other
come and
association. Yes.
thank you?
Yes.
Do you get what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
okay, now that I've done my own heavyweight boxing, please hit
Yes.
back at me. Hit back at me. I can take it.
Okay. So for me, it was three things. One, I'm not, just like you said about your company. I was not very involved in the group. I was not very involved with the group, so I wasn't too. So I left it for that person to manage. And to be honest, I really did not notice when you left. I probably knew day before yesterday when I was invited to speak today, and I was like, okay, you know, I had no idea. The other
You
thing
see, no
is
fight, so
the
we
the
invited you.
the,
Say, tell
the
your CEO, no fight, so be
The other
yourself.
thing
Okay,
was, I was a bit surprised because I'm like, why did he leave? Now he should have called, he should have said something. He didn't say anything and he left. And I said, okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And thirdly, what was the third thing? So what was the third thing? And then, to be honest, because of the group has not moved forward, and because of all the talk and everything, that's one thing I don't like. I remove myself from talk,
but you
so I
can't.
just felt,
Demi, you can't do that. You are the president of the association.
oh no,
You have to take the blows. You have
I
to
agree,
deal with
I
these
agree.
issues
If it's
for the
my
benefit of the
association,
association.
I become
No, but you're
Anthony
the leader.
Joshua.
You're the front. You're the head.
Yes, but not for the stakeholders group though. For
You
Apple,
are
yes, I
because
am.
it was set up in Appium's name.
Yes, but if you notice
It
before
was
you
your
before you
initiative.
before you left, before sorry, I was distracted by that comment. Before you
Yes.
left, if you before you left, you'd have noticed that some people were going on and on. Why a poem? Why this? Why that? So I'm like, okay, let me just step back because obviously nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to move this forward. There's no point. Let me go back to my house and go and deal with my house
Let me
people.
say something to you. Why Gandhi? Why Martin Luther King? Somebody has to step forward. Somebody has to lead.
I know, but are people willing to be led?
Those that don't want to be led will drop by the wayside.
Okay.
Let me ask you this
Okay.
question now. You can wear this dress now, and you can ask 10 different people, do they like the dress? And you could potentially get five that might say yes, five that will say no. It is
Yes,
life.
true.
It is life. You are never going to get 100% of your people that will come onto Appium or whatever it is
Yes.
and say, we all agree with everything you're saying.
Okay.
That's the
I'm
price
going
of
to,
leadership.
you know what? You know what? I accept this and I'm going to take it as a challenge, actually. I accept
Good.
it and I'm going to take it on as a challenge.
And this is what will help the industry because it means
Okay.
you're going to get insults, you're going to get blows, you're going to get all kinds of
Tell
things.
me about it. Tell me
It's not going to
about
change.
it. Tell me about it.
I mean, just to
Okay.
give a
I'll
quick
take,
story. When I
yeah.
started in the industry, I started like about 35 years ago, and I started in the UK. And when I was in the UK, now black organizations were not doing anything. They were not out there. Nobody wanted to do anything. There was a lot of racism. I would go to
Yeah.
venues, and they would tell me they don't let black people into their venues because we will bring smelly food. We'll make lots of noise. We will fight. I had a choice then. I had a choice to say, "Ah, people won't allow me. Let me quietly go about my business. Or I can challenge them." What I decided to do was I challenged them. I did my events. I made sure those things did not happen. Then became acceptable. They accepted us. Now, 20 years later, it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
We are having concerts at Wembley Arena, Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
We're filling them up. In fact, they're begging
Yes.
us now to
Yes.
do those things.
Yes. That's the
It's
truth.
never going to be easy. All right? I don't want to make
Okay.
this all about you and Appium,
No,
but
no, it's okay,
it's all
but I'll
part of
take
the
up the
discussion.
challenge.
Do you
Yes, it
understand?
is. It is. No, no, it is.
It
It
is.
is.
So I want to ask you another question. Last week we had
Okay.
Funke Buckner on the show, and she's one of your members. She's also
Yes,
a
she.
member of ILIA.
Yes.
And during our chat, she said one of the challenges that we raised when we were even talking was about standardization as well. Because she felt that we need to do something to be
We do.
standardized.
We do.
So as the president of Appium, I know we've kind of talked into it a little bit and we've looked at the challenges.
Yes.
Okay. So what would you say are the things that we need to do to bring standardization? And to you, what's your interpretation of your understanding of standardization within the events industry?
Okay. So for me, standardization is like a formula that works. You know, it's like a guideline to do things properly, be it
Mm-hmm.
product, be it service. So, I mean, it should be something that guides the industry. Um, so, for example, I was discussing with Molara just now. So, for example, we're talking about basic hall venue setup.
Mm-hmm.
So, we should have standard, for example, standard amount of tables for a standard amount size of a hall. Do you understand? People should
Mm-hmm.
know about exits. They should know health and safety. They should, I mean, there are some basic things that come with setting up a hall. For me, it doesn't require 100 people to create those standards.
Mm-hmm.
We just need the people that know about them for the
Mm-hmm.
different types of standards that, do you understand? And let's
Mm-hmm.
have a book, a blueprint that everybody can follow. If it means bringing in the ISO in the beginning before we go to the government, you know, to help us enforce it. You know, there are companies that have to be ISO certified before
Yes.
they can be in business. So, I mean, we've spoken to them before, and like they said to us, even before they create those standards, they need to work with the people that know about them, the people that know those standards. So, we've spoken to them before. If, for me, if I can get the different areas of the industry that we need standardization, and we get the people that can assist, and we can bring in ISO to also assist us, people
Mm-hmm.
need to go and actually get trained, get the ISO certification, and with that, go to the government to enforce it. Because that's the only way they can take us seriously. That's the truth.
Okay, so looking at what you said there, do
Yes,
you there do you therefore believe that before people can enter into the event industry, they must have minimum standards? So what I mean, not just when I say
yes,
minimum standards, should they have a website? Should they have an office? Should they have employers liability? Should they be registered for VAT, for tax? Are those the sort of things you're saying, or you're just saying that you just want
definitely.
standardization in terms of health and
Not
safety and things like that?
not just that, not just that. Even to run a
Mm-hmm.
business in the event industry. For example, you can't join Appoint if you are not legally registered.
Okay.
Do you understand? So we need to have things like
Mm-hmm.
that. You need to be legally registered. You need to have VAT. You need to be able to show us your website. You need to have um, maybe an Instagram page. I mean, it's not
Mm-hmm.
necessary, but in this day and age, do you
Yeah.
understand? Things that people can verify.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have contracts. You need to have, I mean, those things. So we need to start from the beginning. So I want to be an event planner. So how do you
Mm-hmm.
start? Training. After training, experience. After experience, you need to register a business. After you register a business, what's next? Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have a huge office, but you need to have a space to start.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a space to start. You need to have a verifiable address.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell people I'm at number 1 ABC Street, you need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that. So not just the management of the event standardization, but the business
Mm-hmm.
standardization as well, if I can call it that. So all of those things. Um, so those were kind of the things we were looking at when I formed the stakeholders group.
Mm-hmm.
I think the mistake there was actually to start giving out um, projects to different groups.
Okay.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Give out projects to different groups
Mm-hmm.
based on their experience, where their strengths lie and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Do you think that possibly that with that group, whilst we're talking about that group, that what you did was make it too large? So, for instance, now you had nearly all the ILIA members on there. If you had gone to the president of ILIA and said, "Listen, give me 2 members,"
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe you had gone to Appium and said, "We will have 3 members," then it was
Yes.
5. So you had a working committee, and then maybe you had
Mm-hmm.
subcommittees, as opposed to
Yes.
putting. I can't remember how many people were on the group, but.
Yes. Trust me, I agree with you. But in the
Mhm.
process of we're only going to have 10 people in the group, no, why didn't you put why didn't you put the group got large. But I totally agree with you. I believe in small groups.
Mhm.
There may be a larger house eventually, but
Yes.
yes,
So this
we'll go
this
back to
just
the
takes me
drawing board.
back to you.
Yes,
I'm going to come back to you. This is true talk. You are the
yes,
leader. Oh, I mean, as they say in corporate, also in your business, if
yeah,
you do an event and your company messes up, they're not blaming your staff.
yes,
They are blaming you.
you.
Do you
Yes,
understand?
I
So I
agree.
think
I
these are,
agree.
these are the things that you
I agree.
needed to have put your
Yes,
foot down and said, right, this is how we're doing it. This is what we're going to do. Like if you see
yes.
what God, I've forgotten his name. You know, they set up the creative industry group with
Alibaba.
Alibaba.
Yes, yes.
What they did, they set it up with whoever was the few people that they set it up with. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how many people are there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said
Mm-hmm.
everybody should fill in a form. They did
Yes,
not
yes.
allow all of us to join the group.
But
They
we're
said
not even
fill in
included.
forms. I
Mm-hmm.
know, but
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say was that they decided
Mm.
that whoever they are, they had the power
Yeah.
to talk to the
To
government.
do. Yes.
They
Mm-hmm.
wanted to keep it tight,
Yeah.
but what they wanted to do was also make it inclusive.
Yes.
So by
Mm-hmm.
saying to everybody, fill in your form, fill in your views, fill in your this, and then they had the power of all the documentation to take to the government and say, this is
Yeah.
event, this is caterers, this is photographers, this is
Mm-hmm.
DJs, this is this. So
Yes.
my point just on this is that I mean, if you still decide that you're going to push on it, and I think you are in a good place to push on it,
I
we might
will.
have to
I will.
relook at it. I mean,
I will.
Ebony Jute asked a question. He says, has Appium
Oh.
been empowered through legislation to regulate the industry? And
No.
if not, is there a process through the federal government that you can achieve such authority?
Okay, currently we're working with the Lagos State Tourism. We have a meeting hopefully in 2 weeks, and we'll take it from there. We'll take it from there because we fall under tourism. So over the years, we've been talking to them, but it's like they change the commissioner every 2 months, every 1 year. But we've
Mm-hmm.
spoken to them, and she's invited us in the next 2 weeks to
Mm-hmm.
come in to speak to them, and then we'll see what happens from there. But I mean, just like we've said, even if we go tomorrow to speak to them, we have nothing to present to them in terms of the event industry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? If we want them to enforce and regulate, they need something to work with. We don't want them busting into our events and telling us, come and pay 75,000 naira. What are we paying for? What are you
Mm-hmm.
collecting money for? We
Mm-hmm.
also need to help them know what they. Yes. So hopefully in 2 weeks, we should have some good news.
Okay. So Funke Bruckner is on this chat here, and she says,
Yes,
"But
I
our
see
group
her.
was like that. Our group was like that, too." Funke, what group are we talking about, and what was like that? So
Stake,
just give us a little bit
stakeholders.
more information so that I can challenge. I can challenge Demi about it. I've told her that today she would take 4 doses of paracetamol by the time we are finished
It
with
is
her.
well, it is well. I'm still standing.
Yes, and you will continue to
Yes,
stand.
yes,
Don't worry about that.
yes, yes, yes.
So we look at legislation. One of the things I wanted to pick up there was
Okay.
this. All right, you said that Appium is looking to work with Lagos State, but
Yes.
do we not need Appium to work with the federal government? There are lots of people that are possibly on here now that might be in Abuja, that might be in other
Yes.
parts of Nigeria, that they're thinking that what's the benefit for me to join you when if your all your concentration is in
It's
Lagos?
in Lagos. Okay. So, two parts. The first part is even in Apwem, we have members in Port Harcourt, Warri, Abuja, Owerri. So we have members outside of Lagos.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've done is we are about to launch our chapters. And through our chapters, they would go into their various state commissions and things like that. However, what we're also looking at is once we're able to get in the buying of Lagos State, it will be easier to go to federal, to go to the federal level. So
Mm-hmm.
that's our plan. So we want to start from state level and then going to federal. Last year, we had a conversation with Foley Coker, who is the Minister of Tourism. What we
Mm-hmm.
need to do is to continue those talks because I remember one of the things he said to us was, "What have you done with Lagos State?" At the time. So that's why we're like, well, let's key into Lagos State. Let's see what we can get out of it. And then we go back to him and remind him that, remember what you said the last time. So here we are with Lagos State. What can we do with federal government?
Okay. I mean, Emily says, why not just prepare a concept note on what you want and then present it to government? So
Same
so
thing, same
basically,
thing.
why not just get yourself a working committee with Appium? Yes. Prepare a document, send it to Ilya, and if there's a couple of other people for comments to add
Yeah.
in the bits and pieces,
Okay.
yes, and then you've got your working document which you can send on. And then I assume that you then won't have that issue of 200 million people trying to comment and say you're talking nonsense, you forgot about this, you forgot about that, you forgot. Because if you look at abroad, and I'm sure you've looked at the various models abroad, yes, caterers may have their association,
Yeah.
decorators may have their association, but there's a general event planning legislation. So, in other
Yeah.
words, things around health and safety, you must have employers' liability, you must have employees' liability, you must have people that have got first aid training. There's some basic
Yeah.
things that you must have if you want to be an events company and do
Yeah.
events over X amount of people. So I don't think I'm asking you, are you
Yeah.
trying to do a one size fits all, or are you just trying to get the basics in place so that people know that if they want to enter this industry, they're going to be um, legalized or they're going to have to go through a process?
Yes, I mean for Nigeria, I don't think one size can fit all. but to
Okay.
have a basic. To have a basic, because I think that basic would even send some people out of the industry. That's the truth. So what we're trying to do is get that basic. So now, other than Ilya, there is I think ASEV. I think there is ASEV, and there is one other one. I can't remember now. So I'll be coming knocking on your doors. Oh, nobody should give me
Me, I'm
give
here.
me any, what do they call
I'm
it?
here.
Because
I'm
I've
not
been
running.
challenged, and I always like to win all my challenges. So I'm coming
Okay,
to
we
knock
shall
on your
see.
doors.
We
So yes,
we have this recording for life. So
yes, please,
when you
please.
fail, if you
No,
try
no,
it,
no.
we will play it back for you.
When this is May.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, give me till end of July.
No, wala. We're not going
Yes,
anywhere.
end
We're here
end
for
of
you.
July. Save this recording. End of July.
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so
somebody
we
set
know
it.
that collaboration in the event industry is key. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it is something that a lot of speakers that have come on the show, they keep repeating, they keep talking about that we need to do more collaborations. What I found since I've been around, not with everybody, but people
Okay.
seem to be scared of collaboration for
Yes.
whatever reason. Either they feel if they do a collaboration with Funke, because she's so big, she will steal my business. If you do with Dr. Yemi, he will take all the prestige away from me. If you do with Bemi, she self, she's Appium president, nobody will recognize me. Do you
Mm,
understand? So how does Appium encourage collaboration? But in particular, so there's two sides to it. There's how do you
okay.
encourage collaboration with other associations like ILIA and the others that are out there? And also, how do you encourage collaboration among your members?
Okay. So a lot of people complain. That's the truth. I think it has to do with confidence, also expertise. If you're good at what you do and you know what you're doing, I don't think you should be threatened by anyone. In addition to that, sometimes you don't know, but because you're willing to learn, you're also not scared. And then once you trust the people you're working with, in Upwork, what our keyword for collaboration is trust.
Mm-hmm.
So because I know I trust Funke, I can go to her and tell her, look, Funke, I have this job, I need help. I can go to Wando's signature and say, Wando, I need this. So within our association, trust is our
Mm-hmm.
keyword when it comes to collaboration. In terms of other associations, I would say it would come back to respect. It would come back to everybody feeling too big for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
In APOEM, I mean, I've tried to include every association in a lot of things that we do. For example, when we do our TIC conferences, I make sure I extend invitations to other association presidents and a few members and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I don't think it's good enough. It's not just enough to invite, but I think it would be nice if they can actually join the planning. They
Mm-hmm.
can actually join in even the content of what we're trying to do, because really, when we do our TIC conference, it's not for Uppoint, it's for the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a work in progress. I think it's something we should continue to work on to grow the industry. It's hard, but
Okay. People that are listening, please throw in your questions. We want to make sure that we deal with them today. Please send in your questions. If you've got any questions, maybe me, I don't worry. I'll send you flowers after this. So, well, as we wait for questions to come in, we're already in the
yes.
post-COVID era. Okay, um,
Yes, yes,
everywhere started to open up slowly, even though our in our sector has not opened up, and we're not sure when it
yeah,
is. But people are beginning to pick up the pieces, and they're beginning to
yes.
start again or continue their businesses, whatever may be the case. How prepared do you think the event industry is to bounce back and get into the thick of things? And what are the sort of things that you feel we're going to have to consider?
Okay, I think everybody is so ready to go back to work. Mostly for most people, it's monetary. Everybody's broke. Everybody's looking for money. Uh, for some people, it's just the passion and just going back to work, uh, creating events and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. It won't be business as usual. I think health and safety has gone from here to here
Mm-hmm.
now in the industry, because I don't think those are things that people. I mean, people have events and you go into the bathrooms and the event planner has not even checked to see that they have hand towels, they have toilet roll, they have hand washing soap, as little as that.
Yeah.
You tell
Mm-hmm.
people, yeah, the event planner, you need to check, and they'll be telling you, it's the hall's job now. Things like that. Now, even the event planners will be checking to make sure. And I mean, from inside of Upwem, I know the caterers are putting in place so many things: the shields, the masks, the
Mm-hmm.
gloves, training of their waiters, because obviously they are not as educated and as informed as we are or their orgas are. So
Mm-hmm.
now there is a lot of education going into health and safety, the need for emergency response at events. Now, the event community is now seeing the importance of those people. And then educating our clients, it's really, really important. I remember somebody came and told us about an event they had with 15 people. At the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the event, at the entrance, they already had the hand washing, the sanitizers, things like that. Do you know guests were still coming in with 3, 4 extra people that were not invited to the event? So client education is key, and people need to start doing that. And it's not just the event planners, even the caterers have to educate their clients
Mm-hmm.
about these things. And so the industry, they are ready, but how prepared are they for the new normal? I would say 75%, because some
That
people still,
high? You really
yes,
think so?
I think only 75% are really prepared for the new normal. I think
Okay.
25% still feels, yeah, government is lying to us. The numbers are not right. We have COVID in Nigeria. We don't have coronavirus. Things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
education has to continue. Information has to continue. Mrs. K disagrees
TWC
with me.
events.
Yes,
Okay.
disagrees with me. She said no. Mrs. K,
TWC
you have to
event
tell
says,
us. I don't
go
agree.
on.
So you have to tell us why.
Please tell
That
us why. We
that
want to know
that's
why.
that's the vice president of our poem.
Who is that? TWC.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Because they say more emphasis on health and safety and how do we ensure 100% compliance. I also want to take that a little bit
Hmm.
further with regards to what you said, which
Okay.
was that you invite 25 people, they bring an extra 3 people each. How, bearing in mind how unruly we are, bearing
Yes.
in mind the fact that once we pay you, we feel
Mm-hmm.
we own you,
Yes.
how are you going to stop them bringing their extra guests into the venue?
Okay.
Or
So the first
what's the advice going to be to our members?
okay. The first thing is you have to educate your client. And you have to be firm. You have to let the client know. You've paid me for 20 guests. Only 20 guests are going to be allowed. And the good thing about 20 guests is a guest
Mm-hmm.
list will be very effective versus 1,000 guests. So if you are not on the list, you have to go back. And our security team too need to be educated, because they need to assist us. What did Mrs. K say? A lot of people don't even understand what that means. You see, when I said 75%, do you understand
But
what
she's
I'm
right,
saying?
though.
Yes,
They're right.
that's the thing. So our security people too need to be on alert. They need to know these things. They need to be involved, and people have to start getting embarrassed. I'm sorry.
But Bemi, you have been at events now. Let's say it as it is.
Yes,
Let's not
yes,
sugarcoat it.
I
Me, I'm at
understand.
an event. I have
Yes,
my white beard. I have my
yes,
cap on, my
yes,
agbada. I am paying
yes,
for my daughter's wedding. Who are you?
yes.
Who the hell do you think you are to tell me I cannot bring my guests? Who are
Me,
you? Am I not
me.
paying you? Am I not?
Yes, you
What are
are.
you going to do?
Yes,
What are you going to do? What are
you're
you going to
also
do?
paying for my safety. It's very
But what are
important.
you
You're
going to
also
do in
paying.
those
We're going
circumstances? What
to
do you
no, no, no,
do?
no, no. We're going to stop. people that know me, seriously, my clients, I'm not this calm when I'm having event. Okay, I'm this calm, but people know me that I would fight. I would fight the auntie of the brother
But
of the
speak for your
bride's mommy.
association. Speak for the people that are not
Okay,
like you. How do they
they
manage it? Not you.
know, they know.
I can manage it. You might be able to manage it. But how do they?
We've
First or second
constantly,
event.
yes, yes, it's going to be hard, but they need to engage security. They need to, and they need to get the buy-in of their clients. It's very, very important. Their clients they need to continue to talk to their clients. They need to. They need to. That's the only way. Because if you stop someone outside, they're going to call the clients inside.
And
They're
the
going to
client
call
will
the
come
clients inside.
ranting and raving. That's my
Exactly.
auntie. That's my this. That's
Exactly.
my that.
So the client has to agree. If we have to put it in a contract, the client has to agree that, look, I'm giving you a list of 20 people. If anybody else comes, please turn them back. If it has to go in a paper, on a piece of paper, it has to. And the security people, they have to do their jobs. I'm telling you, and it has to start from the gate, not the entrance of the sitting room or the garden or whatever. It has to start from the estate gate, the whatever. Honestly.
I don't know how many people are on here that do government events. If anybody that does government events, please,
That one is different.
can we
No,
tell
that one is different.
everybody it is like
Government
when you
events is
have the
different.
governor walk in and
Government,
200 people
yes,
are
or the
coming
Oni
in
of
with
Ife
him?
and the rest of them.
Thank you.
Yes.
So
So
what do you do in those situations?
if I'm taking up an event where I know that the governor is coming, or where I know that the Oni of Ife is coming, and people like that, then it's time for us to come back to the drawing board and decide on how we want to go about it. That's the truth. If the government has said only 20 people, it has to be 20 people. Don't invite the Oni of Ife. Don't invite Sanwo-Olu. I'm
Okay.
telling you, don't
Okay. I
invite
hear you on
them.
that one. I hear you on
Seriously.
that one.
Then don't invite them. Oh, let them join their Zoom. That's the truth. Because let's true talk. If I'm doing an event for 20 people and the Oni of Ife shows up, I can't stop him. That's the honest truth. I can't
Okay.
stop the Oni of Ife. That's the
Okay. I'm
truth.
glad. Yes.
That's the truth.
Okay.
But obviously, I'm going to see from a distance that he's coming because that's the way it works. So the first people from his team would have come. I'm going to go and tell my client that, look, Oni of Ife is coming. You've invited him, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I may probably enter my car and drive off. I'm telling you, that is me. I may just enter my car and I may just drive off.
Everybody else in the industry, she did not say that she was just joking. Please accept that as a joke. You cannot
I'm not
leave your
joking, no.
clients in the middle.
I'm not joking. I'm telling seriously, I'm not joking. I'm not joking, no. I've done it before.
Okay. But you do know that
seriously.
when you leave the event like that, you do know that you are still liable. You do know that, don't
Yes,
you?
yes.
Okay.
But this is after talking to my clients. If I tell you, you've invited 20 people and you didn't tell me Oni of Ife was coming, what is the plan? Are the 20 people going out so we can bring in the Oni? And after he's done 15 minutes, we can... No, honestly, because what do we do? Seriously. Okay, what would you do?
It's a difficult situation because I've been in this situation. I'm going to tell you, I've been in the situation. And okay, fortunately, I was in the situation where we didn't have COVID. So it was not too bad. But we were in a situation where we were overcrowding. There were health and safety issues. We had planned for maybe, let's say, 2,000 people. And we had something like 3,500 people wanting to show up and wanting to get in. Because we had known about it, and there's certain events, and this is what you call forward thinking and planning.
Yes.
Because we had known about it, we changed the way in which people are allowed to come in, and we changed barricades. So we had to go through 2, 3, 4 sets of entrances to get through. What it did for us is that instead of having 1,500 extra people, we ended up with about 300 extra people because you just could not keep getting through all the different barricades and stuff like that. But because of our mentality in Nigeria, Remy, is very, very difficult. And this is the thing that's been
It
worrying
is.
me.
It is.
And I think this is
It
the
is.
reason why the government has refused to open churches and the event industry, because they know that it is going to be difficult to control.
It will be. It
I
will
mean,
be.
and
It will be.
let's not even just blame Nigerians. I don't know. A lot of people might have been watching CNN. Yesterday was holiday. What was a holiday in America?
Yes,
Social distancing went 100% out of the window.
it did.
There were
Yeah.
thousands of people that were sitting there enjoying next to each other, not wearing masks, so on and so forth. So, if in America, which is allegedly a law abiding country,
How much
cannot
more?
manage the situation, how much more we in Nigeria?
Nigeria. It's
So, what I would
ridiculous.
suggest, and this would be mine, is this: is that every single client that you do, and everybody in Appium and so on and so forth, when you do events, sign a waiver. Get your clients to sign a waiver which says that you devolve me of all responsibility should you
As soon
breach
as your
the
guest size.
legislation. Should you do this, you will be held liable, you will pay any penalties, blah 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 blah, and make them sign it. That's the only way that you can try
So
and
that
protect yourself.
that's yes. That's it. Yeah.
So it's a
Because
tough
if
one.
I'll just it is because even if you say, for example, there are
Thank you,
20 people
Memorial Day.
inside, and
Mm-hmm.
then you maybe set up extra space outside in the garden, the Oni would not go and wait in the garden for people to come out of the house.
Never.
They won't. In fact, the security around him would have even gone into the house before he gets there. Oh, jeez. God help
Well,
us.
like some of your members are saying, it's a battle. You will not get your
It is.
balance. Do you
It is.
understand? Funke said we have to start at the top. TWC event says it will be a battle, but it's all planners agree and enforce the necessary policies. Slowly it will be
Yeah.
done to. You see, with Nigeria, what I've kind of realized since I've been here is that if there is no punishment that you can enforce, nothing's
Yes,
gonna
and
happen.
that's the truth. That's the
That's
truth.
right.
And that's why a lot of them don't like to sign contracts. A lot of
Yes,
them, once you bring the contract, they start talking, they start speaking grammar, and they're like,
that's right.
it's
It's
necessary.
a hard one.
That's the only thing. That's
It's a
the
hard one.
only thing. It is, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the only thing. They need to continue to sign those contracts. If not, there's
Okay,
no way.
Bemi, this has been great. I've actually enjoyed
Yes.
myself. I love having a good tussle back and forth. You gave as good as you got. That's what I love. You gave as good as you got. Do you understand? So if you give as good as you got going forward, you will achieve what we need you to achieve, which is we do need standardization.
We
Do you
do. We
understand?
do.
I mean,
We do.
like I said, I didn't join Appium because I didn't think it was relevant to me. I joined Ilya instead.
Yes.
At
Yes.
some point, the two may come together. It may be that they don't join, but
Of course.
it is you either have to belong to one or the other.
Or the other. Yes.
And these are the rules. The rules and the regulations are uniformed across both parties. So whether you join this or you join that, you're not really bothered. As you
Yes.
say, there'll be more cross collaborations between us, and you've already started that, and that is brilliant. You know, you have people like Funka that is on both sides of the
Yes.
aisle, and I'm sure there's a
Yes.
few other of our members that are
Yes.
on both
Yes.
sides of the
They
aisle
are.
and stuff like that. I mean, I love what you had to say. I love the fact that you've been forthright. You didn't back off. You gave as good as you got. So I really appreciate it. It's been
Thank
fantastic having
you.
you on. We're going to bring you back on again
Thank you.
around
Okay.
July, guys. Remember what she said earlier.
Yes.
We're bringing her
July.
back
End
on
of
July.
July. End of
It's
July.
okay.
End of
End of
July.
July. We'll bring you
End of
back on
July. Yes. Yes.
about Wari is listening. We'll make a date. We'll bring you back
Yes.
around the first
Yes.
week of around August to come and
Yes.
see
Yes.
how far you have
Yes.
developed, whether you have dealt
Yes.
with the challenges. But we
Yes.
are,
Yes.
for the record, I am here to support you. The likes of
Good.
Funke, the likes of
Good.
others of us, we are here to support you. We may be
Good.
difficult, don't get me wrong, because we're passionate about what we do. That
And we'll
doesn't
keep
mean that
pushing.
we're against you. It just
Good.
means we are
Good to hear.
passionate.
Good to hear.
We like things possibly to be done. Everybody likes things to be done different ways. But you have
Yes.
to challenge us. Sometimes you have to call people out. You
I like
understand?
that.
Sometimes I say, Shola,
I
why
like that.
didn't you do what you did? Why did you go away? Why didn't you do what you had to do? We expected you to do better. And then I might
I'm
have to
going to
come with
call
my
them
cap in
out.
hand and say, I'm sorry, oh, I messed up.
Yes, I'm going to call them
Happened.
out, and then I'm going to come back pushing.
That's right. Come up. We need it. I mean, they say that our industry is worth $20 billion a year. That is an enormous
More.
industry. We have moved to third behind agriculture and oil
Yes.
as the biggest
That's
industries
true.
in Nigeria. Think
That's right.
about it. That is saying something. That is really
Yes.
saying a lot.
Yes.
So we have the power. And I think that's where people like yourself and Duton must come together and use that power. Because if we come together and do things unified, can you
Yeah.
imagine what havoc we can cause?
Yes.
Femi, it's been lovely having you. My
Yes.
time is
Thank you
about
so much
drawing
for
to an
having me.
end.
Thank you.
You
I
know,
see that. I see that. I see that. I'll be back in July. If you don't
definitely.
call me, I'll call you.
Please call us. So everybody, please show your claps and waves and thumbs up and okay to Bemi. I will say good night
Thank
to her.
you.
I'm just going to round
Thank
off in the
you. Thank you.
last
Thank
minute or
you.
so.
All
Bemi,
right.
thank you. You've been
All
a
right.
great guest.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Thank you for having me. All right. Bye.
Bye.
How do they log off this?
Right, that was a very lovely and very insightful conversation. That's what True Talk is about. We challenge each other, we have our fights, but at the end of the day, we're friends. We go where you'll be friends. We've resolved some issues here, and I know going forward, there's going to be some fantastic things. I know we will get things together. So, everybody, I really appreciate you coming on board. Tomorrow, we have the model boardroom where we're going to be talking with Paula Sessiano on how to get how to be successful in castings. And then Fashions Finance Africa, the chat room on Thursday, we're going to be talking with Kathy, and it's our lifestyle edition, a new twist to our show. And we're going to be asking her a number of questions about her life and for you to get to know her and what she likes and what she doesn't like. Everybody, I'd like to thank you all for joining me. It's been fantastic as usual. Please join us again next week, Tuesday. Have a lovely week ahead. Please be safe. All right. COVID hasn't gone. Stay safe, stay home, and we will see you soon.